Welcome back, scholars. Here are the answers to the quiz. And what I'm going to do is go to my FlexCam very quick and go through a couple of them. Like the very first one, it asks you that you're dividing 81 and 6/10 by 16ths. They tell you that you get the quotient of the digits 5 and 1. But what is the quotient? They want you to figure it out. But if you look at it closely, you have one digit, which is in the tens place. Lets you know that you're going to have to put one digit in the answer, which will be 5 and 1/10. The next one is real quick. You multiply all three, you come up with 4,100 cubic centimeters. The next one we have is, let's see here. Which two figures give you 24? 4 here times 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 layers. That gives me 24. Then I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 times 1, 2, 3, 4 layers. That gives me 24, so I know it's A and B. This one here, you had one very similar that I worked for you guys a while back. They charge $43 for the first hour you go in there, but there's a service charge of $35. So the rest is going to be how much the hourly rate is. So you take 43 minus 35, and that's 8. Next one here. This one's very simple. If you look at it, 100 has 2 zeros. You're going to be moving this over 2 decimal places values. Makes it 375. So let's move it to the right 2 places. Want to make sure I look at these here. This one here, you multiply this, that's the 6. 15 minus 6 equals 9. Plus 8 is 17. So the one that gives you 17, which is C, would be the right answer. And this one down here, you take, let's see here, 24 divided by 6 is 4. So 18 plus 4 plus 6 equals 28. So it's going to be this answer here. I believe that's all of them. Let's get back to our slides and head over to our next slide, which will be our brain break. If you're running out of time, teachers, you don't have to listen at this one. You can go ahead and pause it. Here's the brain break. It's about 3 minutes and 24 seconds.
Your timing made you and your partner the most infamous bank robbers in the West. Now, you'll need to use that timing to help you break out of jail. At the appointed time, you'll be walking in the yard near the electric fence. Your partner will flash you the signal, and exactly 45 seconds later, short out the fence circuit. It'll automatically restart after a second or two, but as long as you move fast, you'll be home free. And then you notice, to your horror, that your watch is broken, and there's no time to fix it. The signal is coming, and if you make even a small mistake in counting off 45 seconds, you'll get fried. Searching your pockets, you find something that might help. A lighter and 2 fuses you made earlier in the prison work program. Each fuse is a length of flammable twine built to be lit on either end and burned for precisely 1 minute. The problem is that even though the fuses look uniform, they don't burn evenly. So if you cut one in half, for example, one side might burn longer than the other. Your partner is going to give the signal any minute, and you'll have to make your move. How can you use the fuses and lighter to time exactly 45 seconds? The length of the fuse may not tell you anything, but you do know the fuses take exactly 60 seconds to burn from end to end. Here's the key insight. If you start a fuse on one side and it burns for 30 seconds, there will still be 30 seconds of fuse left. If you had started it from the other end, it would have reached the exact same spot in 30 seconds. That means that if you lit it from both ends simultaneously, it would burn out in precisely 30 seconds. But how will you time the last 15? That'll have to come from the second fuse. If it were a 30-second fuse, you'd be able to use that same trick again to double the burning speed and make it last exactly 15 seconds. And you realize you can shorten the second fuse by lighting one end of it at the same time as you light the first. At the moment the first burns out, you'll be left with 30 seconds on the second fuse. Just when you've got this all figured out, you see the signal from your partner and spring into action. You gather the four ends of the two fuses and light three of them. The moment the first burns out, you light the other end of the second fuse. When it flickers and dies, you know that exactly 45 seconds have passed and the electric fence is dead. By the time it hiccups back to life, you're over the fence and home free. Looking for a riddle that's a little trickier? Try this one, which has been described as the hardest logic puzzle in the world. Or if you're looking for something a bit.
All right, let's go on to our next one. So our exit ticket is going to be on Google Form. You're going to have 8 questions. Once you get done with them, go to Imagine Math or Zora, depending on which room you're in right now. But it should be Imagine Math. Everybody should be having Imagine Math. Distance learners. What is your first name, last name? Make sure you put your advisory teacher and start going with those. Ladies and gentlemen, I will see you next week. We'll see you on Monday. You have a great one. Adios.